Now here we've got some calculations involving brackets, and when you see brackets, it's really important to remember that you do what's in the brackets first. So for this first question, we need to work out 2 times 25, that's 50. Then we need to work out 90 divided by 3, that's 30, because 9 divided by 3 is 3. Then if you've got one end zero in the dividend, you need an end zero in the quotient. So we've worked out what's in our brackets, and we have 50 plus 30. That gives us our answer, 80. Now 90 divided by 15 minus 5. We've got brackets, so we need to do what's in the brackets first, and 15 minus 5 is 10. So we work out 90 divided by 10, which is 9, so that's our answer. Now 30 plus 30 divided by 6, but 30 divided by 6 is in brackets, so we work out that first, and then we have 30 plus 5, so our answer is 35. Now we have two pairs of brackets, so we have to work out what's in the brackets before we can multiply. So 198 plus 2 is 200, 42 minus 2 is 40, so now that we've found what's in the brackets, we can multiply them together. So 200 times 40 is 8,000. That's because 2 times 4 is 8, and then if we have a total of 3 end zeros in a multiplication question, we need 3 end zeros in our answer. So that's 8,000. So we've seen that if we have brackets in a calculation, we always do what's in the brackets first. But here we don't have brackets, but we do have mixed operations, and there's an order in which we do operations. We always add or subtract before we multiply or divide. And the way I remember this is that addition and subtraction are easy, and we leave the easy stuff until the end. So for this first question, 20 plus 4 times 2, we need to do the multiplication before we do the addition, because addition is easy and we leave the easy stuff till the end. So 4 times 2 is 8, so we're adding 8 to 20, which gives us 28. Now 30 minus 5 times 2, so we need to do the multiplication first, and 5 times 2 is 10, so we're subtracting 10 from 30. That gives us 20. Now 60 plus 42 divided by 6. So we need to do the division first, and 42 divided by 6 is 7. So we're adding 7 to 60, and that gives us 67. Now 80 minus 20 divided by 10. So again, we're doing the division first, because we always do multiplication or division before we do addition or subtraction. So 20 divided by 10 is 2, so we're subtracting 2 from 80, so that gives us 78. Now for these last questions we have powers, so we have squared symbols. And when you have squared symbols or cubed symbols or any power, you always do that before you do anything else apart from brackets. So we need to deal with this 9 squared first. Remember, this squared symbol means multiply the number by itself. So 9 squared means 9 times 9, which is 81. So now we have 81 plus 36 divided by 9. But we always do division before we do addition, and 36 divided by 9 is 4, so we have 81 plus 4, which is 85. And here, again, we have a squared symbol, and because we don't have any brackets, we know that the squared symbol is what we have to deal with first. So 8 squared means 8 times 8, which is 64, and we're subtracting 24 divided by 4. We do division before we subtract, and 24 divided by 4 is 6, so we're taking 6 away from 64, which gives us our answer 58. Now we've got some questions that look like long division problems, But we're not going to use long division, we're going to use short division, and we can do that using factor pairs. So if we look at our divisor, 21 is 3 times 7. So what we can do, instead of dividing by 21, we can divide our dividend, we can divide 546 by 3, then take our answer and divide it by 7. Now this only works for calculations where you don't get a remainder, but most questions, especially when you're dividing by 2-digit numbers, won't give you a remainder, so this trick should work. So we can start by dividing 546 by 3. 5 divided by 3 is 1 remainder 2. 24 divided by 3 is 8, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. So we've divided by the 3, so now we can take our answer and divide it by the 7. Now taking the first 2 digits together, 18 divided by 7 is 2 remainder 4, and 42 divided by 7 is 6. So instead of dividing by 21, we divided by 3, then divided by 7, and that gave us our answer, 26. Now 900 divided by 36. 36 is 6 times 6. So we can divide 900 by 6, then we're going to take our answer and divide it by 6 again. 9 divided by 6 is 1 remainder 3, 30 divided by 6 is 5, 0 divided by 6 is 0. So now we can take that answer, take the 150 and divide it by 6. Now taking the first 2 digits together, 15 divided by 6 is 2 remainder 3, and 30 divided by 6 is 5. So 900 divided by 36 is 25. Now 3,384 divided by 72. For 72 we can use 8 times 9, so we can divide by 8, then take our answer and divide it by 9. So to start we have 3,384 divided by 8. Taking the first 2 digits together, 33 divided by 8 is 4 remainder 1, 18 divided by 8 is 2 remainder 2, and 24 divided by 8 is 3. So we can take our answer and divide it by the other factor. Now taking the first 2 digits together, 42 divided by 9 is 4 remainder 6, and 63 divided by 9 is 7, so our answer is 47. Now for these questions we're dividing by a 2-digit number, and we know that with division we can count up in steps of the divisor until we reach the dividend, so we can do the same thing with these questions. Counting in 15s, we know that 15 is 1 times 15, then if we add another 15 we get to 30, so that's 2 times. Add another 15, we get to 45 as 3 times 15. Then another 15, we know that 60 is 4 times, 75 is 5 times, and 90 is 6 times 15, which means that 90 divided by 15 must be 6. Now 92 divided by 23. So we can count up in 23s. 23 is 1 times 23. If we add another 23, we get 46 for 2 times 23. Then adding another 23 gives us 69 for 3 times. And then another 23. 9 plus 3 is 12, so 1, 2. 1 plus 6 plus 2 is 9. So we know that 92 is 4 times 23. Which means that 92 divided by 23 must be 4. Now 158 divided by 46. So 46 is 1 times, add another 46, and we know that 92 is 2 times 46, then another 46, we know that 158 is 3 times 46, which means that 158 divided by 46 must be 3. Now 222 divided by 37. So 37 is 1 times. If we add another 37, we get 74 for 2 times. Now another 37, we know that 111 is 3 times. And here there is a shortcut. If we know that 111 is 3 times, we know what 222 will be. But let's leave that for a moment and keep on adding or counting in 37s. 148 is 4 times. Add another 37. 185 is 5 times. And add another 37. 222 is 6 times 37, which means that 222 divided by 37 is 6. Now I mentioned that there was a shortcut. Once we knew that 111 was 3 times, we could have doubled 111 to get to 6 times. So if you know 3 times, you can add the number to itself, and that will give you 6 times, because 3 plus 3 is 6. So we could have spotted straight away, once we got to 111, that 222 divided by 37 would be 6, because 222 is double 111 and 6 is double 3. Or we could have worked it out a different way. With 37, we know that 10 times 37 would be 370, because when you multiply a whole number by 10, you can just put a 0 on the end. But then, if we know that 10 times is 370, we can work out 5 times by finding half of 370, or dividing it by 2. That would give us 185 for 5 times, and then we'd only need to add another 37 to get to 6 times, so we'd know our answer. Now 136 divided by 17. We can count up in 17s, so 17 is 1 times, add another 17, 34 is 2 times, 51 is 3 times, 68 is 4 times, 85 is 5 times, so if we take that 85 and add another 17, that gives us 102 for 6 times, 119 for 7 times, and 136 for 8 times. So that means 136 divided by 17 must be 8. Again, there are some shortcuts that we could have used here. Rather than working out 2 times, 3 times, and 4 times, we could have just done 10 times 17, so put a 0 on the end of 17 to get 170. Then we could have halved to find 5 times, so we could have done 170 divided by 2. That's 85, so once we'd worked out that 85 is 5 times, we could have continued counting on to get to 8 times. Or, once we knew that 10 times 17 is 170, we could have just worked out 2 times and subtracted it, because if you work out 10 times and you subtract 2 times, that will give you the answer to 8 times. So we can't do 0 minus 4, go to the left, 1 less, 1 in front, 10 minus 4 is 6, 6 minus 3 is 3, 1 minus nothing is 1, so we've worked out that 8 times 17 is 136, so we know straight away that 136 divided by 17 is 8. So now we've got some long division questions. So we have 888 divided by 37. So we're going to need to work out our 37 times table. 37 is 1 times 37. Then if we add another 37, we get 74 for 2 times. Add another 37, we get 111 for 3 times. Another 37, that's 148 for 4 times. And if we add one more 37, we get 185 for 5 times. And we can be confident that we haven't made a mistake in our calculations, because 5 times any number always ends in a 5 or 0. And here we can see that 185 ends in a 5. Now we could keep going with working out our 37 times table, but it's a good idea to stop here and look at the question because you might not need anything above 5 times, and for these questions here we don't. We just need to work out our times tables up to 5 times, and then we can use the long division method to find our answer. So, taking the first two digits together, we have 88 divided by 37. We can see that the closest multiple of 37 to 88, which is still less than 88, is 2 times. That's 74, and because 74 is 2 times 37, we need a 2 in our answer line. Now we're going to subtract and bring down. 8 minus 4 is 4, 8 minus 7 is 1, and we bring down the 8, so we have 148 divided by 37. We can see that 4 times 37 is exactly 148, so the last digit of our answer is 4. We've not got any other digits to bring down, so our answer is 24. Now 714 divided by 17. So we need our 17 times table. 17 is 1 times, add another 17, and that gives us 2 times. Another 17, we know that 51 is 3 times, add another 17, 68 is 4 times, and add another 17, we get 85 for 5 times 17. And we can be fairly confident that we haven't made any mistake in our calculation, because remember, 5 times always ends in a 0 or a 5, and 85 ends in a 5. Now, rather than carrying on, we can look back at our question. Taking the first two digits together, we have 71 divided by 17. So we need to find the number that's closest to 71, but still less than 71. We can see here that's 68, so we write that underneath. And because 68 is 4 times 17, we write 4 in our answer line. Now we subtract and bring down. So 71 minus 68 is 3, and we bring down the 4, so we have 34 divided by 17. We can see that that's exactly 2 times 17, so the last digit of our answer is a 2. So 714 divided by 17 is 42. Now 3016 divided by 13. So we need our 13 times table. 13 is 1 times, add another 13, 26 is 2 times, add another 13, 39 is 3 times, 52 is 4 times, and 65 is 5 times 13. It ends in a 5, so we can be confident that we've got the correct working out. Now, if we take the first two digits together, we have 30 divided by 13. Now, the closest number to 30 that's still less than 30 is 26. So 26 goes underneath, and because that's 2 times 13, we need 2 in our answer line. Now we subtract and bring down. So 30 minus 26 is 4, and we bring down the 1, so we have 41 divided by 13. Now 39 is the closest number to 41 that's still less than 41, so we write 39 underneath, and because that's 3 times, we write 3 in our answer line. Now we subtract. 41 minus 39 is 2, and we bring down the 6, so we have 26 divided by 13. We can see that that's exactly 2 times, so we have 2 in our answer. So 3016 divided by 13 is 232. Now 725 divided by 29. So we need our 29 times table. So 29 is 1 times, and rather than adding 29, it's probably easier for us to add 30 and then subtract 1. So if we add 30, that would be 59, subtract 1 is 58 for 2 times, then we can do the same thing for 3 times, 4 times, and 5 times. And when the last digits are 9, you can spot the pattern that the times table makes. So the ones digits is going down in ones, and the tens digit is going up in threes. And that's because 29 is 1 less than 30. So now that we've worked out our 29 times table, at least up to 5 times, we can look back at our question. Taking the first 2 digits together, we have 72 divided by 29. Now the closest number to 72 that's still less than 72 is 58. So we write the 58 underneath, and because that's 2 times, we write 2 in our answer line. Now we have 72 minus 58. Here I would use the column method, so we can't do 2 minus 8, go to the left, 1 less, 1 in front, 12 minus 8 is 4, 6 minus 5 is 1, and we need to bring down this 5, so we have 145 divided by 29. We can see that that's exactly 5 times, so 5 is the last digit of our answer. Now we have 2,331 divided by 37, so we're going to need to work out our 37 times table. But before we do that, let's look at the question. If we take the first 2 digits together, we have 23 divided by 37. But 23 is less than 37. So when that happens, we can take the first 3 digits together and divide 233 by 37. So we're going to need to work out our 37 times table at least up to 233. So 37 is 1 times 37. If we add another 37, we get 74 for 2 times. Add another 37, we get 111 for 3 times. Another 37 gives us 148 for 4 times. Another 37 gives us 185 for 5 times. And we can be confident that we haven't made any mistakes, because remember, 5 times always ends in a 5 or 0, and that's what we have with 185. But 185 isn't close to 233, so we need to keep going and add another 37. That gives us 222 for 6 times, which is close to 233. But to be sure, we can add another 37 and we get 259 for 7 times. So remember, we're taking the first 3 digits together because 23 is less than 37. So taking the first 3 digits, we need a number that's close to 233 but still less than 233. We can see that 6 times 37 is 222. So we can write that underneath, and because it's 6 times, we write 6 in our answer line. Now, 233 minus 222 is 11, and we can bring down the 1, so we have 111 divided by 37. We can see that that's exactly 3 times, so we have 3 as the last digit of our answer. Now, there was a shortcut here. Once we'd got to 111, we could have just doubled to get to 222. So if you double 3 times, you'll get to 6 times. And that would have saved us time here, because we didn't actually need to know what 4 times or 5 times were to get our answer. Now, 1,118 divided by 43. If we take the first 2 digits together, again, 11 is less than 43, so we're going to need to take the first 3 digits together and divide 111 by 43. So working out our 43 times table, 86 is 2 times, and 129 is 3 times. But remember, when we looked at the question, we were first just dividing 111, and we've already gone past that. So we can stop our working out and divide 111 by 43. We can see that the closest number to 111 is 86, so we can write that underneath. And because 86 is 2 times 43, we can write 2 in our answer line. So now we need to subtract. And here I would use column method to help us. So 11 minus 6 is 5. 10, if we take those two digits together, 10 minus 8 is 2, and we can bring down the 8. So we have 258 divided by 43. Now we know that 129 is 3 times, so there is a shortcut here, which I'll come back to in a moment. But for now, we can keep on adding 43s until we get to 258. So adding another 43 gives us 172 for 4 times, 215 for 5 times, and 258 for 6 times. So because 258 is 6 times 43, we know that 6 is the final digit of our answer. Now I mentioned that there was a shortcut. We were dividing 258, and by that point we'd only got to 3 times is 129. But we could have just doubled 129 to get to 6 times straight away, because if we know that 129 is 3 times, if you add 3 times and 3 times, you'll get to 6 times, because you can add multiplications together. So that might have saved us some time, rather than having to work out 4 times and 5 times. So now we know the method for long division, but when I'm dividing, I don't always use the method. What I do instead is estimate and then adjust. So for this first question, we've got 8,827 divided by 97. Now I know that 100 times 97 is 9,700, because you can multiply by 100 if it's a whole number by just putting 2 zeros on the end. And notice that 8,827 is fairly close to 9,700, so I know that my answer is going to be something fairly close to 100. But because the number we're dividing by is less than 100 times, I know that it's going to be less than 100. Now I also know that 10 times 97 is 970, because multiplying by 10, if it's a whole number, you just put a 0 on the end. And what we can do next is subtract, and that will give us the answer to what 90 times 97 is, because if you have 100 times a number and you take away 10 times that number, you get 90 times that number, because 100 take away 10 is 90. So if we subtract, 0 minus 0 is 0, we can't do 0 minus 7, go to the left, 1 less, 1 in front, 10 minus 7 is 3, and 96 minus 9 is 87. But that gives us 8,730, which is slightly less than 8,827, but it's not much less. So I think just adding another 97, so another 1 times 97, will get us to the dividend. We can use column addition for this, and when we do that, we get exactly what our number is. We get to our dividend. So we got to 90 times 97, added another 97, so one more lot of 97, and that gives us the answer to 91 times 97. So 8,827 divided by 97 is 91, so that's our answer. Now we have 1,911 divided by 49. We can follow the same long division steps as we normally do, so keep on adding the number until we've got to 5 times. Then, looking at our question, 191, and we need to take the first 3 digits together, because if we look at the first 2 digits, we've only got 19, and that's less than 49. So if we do 191 divided by 49, the closest number to 191, which is still less than 191, is 147. So we can write that underneath, and because it's 3 times, we write 3 in our answer line. Now we do the subtraction, and we bring down the last digit. Now we've got 441 divided by 49. Now 441 is a lot more than 245, so if we keep on adding 49s, it's going to take us a very long time to get to 441. So what we can do instead is estimate. Remember, 10 times is going to be 490, so I would guess that 441 is about 9 times. So if we add our answer to 4 times, that's going to give us 9 times. And when we do the addition, we get to exactly 441. So that estimate was accurate. 9 times 49 is 441, which means that 9 is the final digit of our answer.